the top 30 or so. So this is the cars that, in theory, in that qualifying session were first, were fourth, were, what's it going to be, 8th or 7th rather. And they will fight it out, these 20 cars. Remember, only the top 10 go through automatically into the main race, and it is that main race that carries the championship points, 40 points, as we're in the regular season for a race win. When we get to the playoffs, then, of course, that will double and will go to 80 points. So Mikael Smil, who we thought would go well, is going to start from the pole position as we get the rolling lap underway. It is a 10-minute race, and we'll see as to how many laps we can squeeze into that one. All of the heats are held over 10 minutes, as is the final last chance qualification race, and we'll see as then what the 36 cars look like that will head on to the circuit for a 30-minute race later on. The circuit will rubber up as well. It'll be a little bit green for them at the start of the sessions, but we've had the practice session, we've had qualifying, Andre Weigold, and we're about to very shortly see our first race get underway. Mikael Smidl, we know he's good in sim racing, and well, at the moment, he's the cream has risen to the top, hasn't it?
Yes, right. He's exactly where we thought he would be, at the top of the standings. He got the pole position, and very nice for the Autodrom Most as well, because he's representing the NASCAR Fest there, the real NASCAR Whelen Euro Series event that takes place in the Czech Republic. So the Autodrom Most is now very happy watching the race at home, seeing their drivers or their driver at the top of the standings. I think that's a very nice thing for this very, very beautiful track.
Yeah, it's a great circuit. You don't really pick up on the computer screens the sort of undulations that there are at Watkins Glen. It's sort of downhill braking into turn number 1, the 90 as it's called. Very easy to run wide. There's lots of run off tarmac, but from there the circuit climbs uphill through turns 2 and 3 and 4, which is the S's. You then head down the long back straight and into either the bus stop or the inner loop, whatever you wish to call it, where the circuit flicks right and left and then instantly flicks left and right again almost immediately. From there it starts to drop away. It's an off camber exit out of the outer loop that's really turn number 5, and then you're down the next of the straights, which is where the cars will be heading now, up towards a very fast left-hander at turn number 6 and an equally fast right-hander at turn number 7, and that completes what is the 2.450 or 3.943 kilometre lap here at Watkins Glen. So with the cars getting themselves into position, ready for the start of this race. Mikael Smidl sitting there on pole position. Lassie Sorensen sitting alongside. The black car is Smidl. The white and light green car is Lassie Sorensen. Row number 2, it's black and red for Giorgio Maggi, and Maren Kremers is the black and white and gold car of Feed Vict Racing that sits alongside. So red lights are on. The lights go out as they head over the start-finish line, and it's a good start from Mikael Smidl, who leads the pack up towards the charge and in towards turn number 1 for the first time. Eric Filgueras all over the grass, makes contact with cars further back. Lots of cars having to take to the outer limits of the circuit, a few of them in the barriers, but Mikael Smidl and Lassie Sorensen have got away with it. Maren Kremers sits there in the 3rd position, and I think Giorgio Maggi just about managed to keep his nose clean as everything disappeared in a fog of tyre smoke around him, and has hung on to 4th place. But the top 4 have got a huge gap now as a result of those problems at turn number 1. And that has seen some of the cars already head down pit road, including car number says 60 on the screen heading down pit road. But I think that is unfortunately another change of number that we've had that we need to pick up on. I think it should be car number 2 ultimately, which is Nicola Baldan, the former Italian TCR champion from a couple of years ago, already out of the race and out of the running. Remember, only the top 10 automatically get through, so Baldan is going to have to work his way through into contention in the last chance qualification race that will be coming up towards the end of the evening. We ride on board with Giorgio Maggi, Swiss driver who finished runner-up in the NASCAR or EuroNASCAR 2 category last year. Looking ahead is Maren Kremers at the wheel of his Feed Vict Chevy. And the top 4, as you can see, really have got an enormous gap over this car here. Andreas Jochumsen, the Scandinavian, the Swedish driver who sits there in 5th position. Well, Andre, we know that we've seen a few little first corner incidents in the finals and the last chance qualifications. We haven't seen too much of it in the heats, but it was just one car that got out of shape. But I think Eric Filgueras on the grass, and he cannoned into others, and that's created the lead 4 getting away.
Yeah, I think it's the worst case scenario that can happen during a start of a race. Nobody wants to crash in the first corner, and when somebody loses the control of the car and collects other cars, yeah, it's big unfortunate that
Let's have a look at the
people are getting
replay.
out of the race like this.
Yeah, it looked as though the initial contact was between Ulysse Delceau and Eric Filgueiras, who got together, and then they cannoned into several other cars, which took out Gordon Barnes as well, a driver that will be joining the NASCAR Club Challenge in 2020. Now, by the look of things, we've had a change, have we? Giorgio Maggi and Maral Kremers fighting away for third and fourth. Maggi is in the third position. Kremers, no, is still there in fourth, but he's hot on his heels by the look of things. This is the fight for third and fourth position. Round through the S's as they start to head round through turn number 4 and then on to the back straight. This is just allowing the leading pair to get away very, very slightly now. You can see the gap is just starting to build. Michael Smidl starting to pull away, bringing with him Lasse Sorensen, while these two cars, Giorgio Maggi and Marijn Kremers, fight over third and fourth position. And how close it is at the moment, though, it's just the Hendricks Ford head of the Feed Vict Chevy that sits there in fourth position. Down the straight, speeds build in towards the left-hander at turn number 6. Use the curb on the inside. You've got a nice curb that you can use on the outside of the corner. Try and get the car moved from one side of the circuit over to the other. Turn in towards the final corner. Get on the throttle. Use all of the curb on the exit again over the brow of the hill. Another lap completed. There are now, 3.5 minutes over the race of the race just gone, which means there's still best part of 6.5 minutes still to go. Well, here is Gordon Barnes for Marco Steep Motorsport. He was one of those, I think, that was looking to carve his way back up through the order following problems on the first lap. Damage to the tail end of his car. He's also coming under pressure by the look of things as car number 246 is trying to carve its way through. So that is Barnes, and he's up behind Alain Mousqueron. So that was the car, 299, Alain Mousqueron, who was the driver who won the EuroNASCAR Club Challenge last year. He's hoping to defend that title when we get racing for real this year. And was also taking, I think, some EuroNASCAR 2 category races as well. Remember, EuroNASCAR 2 is for the young and the amateur drivers, and the EuroNASCAR Pro is exactly that, for the pro drivers. Giorgio Maggi in third place, still coming under pressure though. He has shaken off a little bit of Marijn Kremers, as we have another quick look at a replay from something that went on earlier on. Let's just have another quick look. So there is Giorgio Maggi, there is Marijn Kremers heading over the start-finish line, completing another lap. Nearly half distance now in this race. Gap first to second is almost a second. Here is Ulysse Delceau at the wheel of the RDV competition Chevy, trying to work his way back up through the order at this stage. He's got Luigi Ferrara ahead of him. Luigi at the wheel of the 42 Racing Ford is going to lose a place here. Surely Ulysse Delceau had a look up the inside. The door was closing, couldn't quite squeeze his way through. So Ferrara hangs on to the place, and the Frenchman, the former EuroNASCAR 2 champion from a couple of years ago, who announced at the beginning of 2020 he was going to be competing in both the EuroNASCAR Pro and 2 divisions, so he's going to be a busy chap, Ulysse Delceau, when we get racing for real. He's doing a good job here of hounding the car that's currently in 11th place, and these are the 2 cars that at the moment, neither of whom are destined to automatically qualify, because they are just outside of automatic qualification for the main race. 11th, and in the case of Ulysse Delceau, number 10, he's in 12th. Through the sweeping outer loop, back down the straight. This is Lasse Sorensen, who is still less than a second away from Michael Smidl. You can see there is the relative gap between the pair of them. The Czech driver with the Dane right behind. It's a Swiss driver that sits there in third place, and in fourth position, that is the man from the Netherlands that sits there in fourth place. A real range of nationalities, as ever, represented not just in the E-Series, but in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, the main, for real, race when we get it going. Lasse Sorensen bouncing over the curbs at the wheel of his Chevy. Still pushing hard at this stage, but also conscious that with 7 minutes almost gone, you don't want to overdrive the car, make a mistake, and drop yourself outside of the top 10. Good fight going on for places further down through the order. Alain Muscaron, the wheel of 299, cannot shake away the black car with its green flashes of Gordon Barnes. The two of those not separated by a great deal at all. There goes Gordon Barnes. Alain Muscaron sitting directly ahead. And both of them not that far away either from the 12th place car of Luigi Ferreira. So it's all getting rather close. Andre, who joins me in live commentary, it looks as though Mikael Smidl is doing everything that we thought he would do. Lasse Sorensen will be conscious that second place, he might be a second adrift, but second place means automatic qualification.
Yes, right. First of all, I need to say two things. First of all, some of the flags are still a little bit confusing. I see Sorensen with a Swedish flag, but of course he's Danish.
He's Danish, yeah.
And I think we have a guest in the commentary booth right now. I have to take a look at our channel, and I see our race winner, Guillaume de Flandre, right now. So, Mark, maybe this is our chance to talk to the race winner of round 1.
Yeah, let's go have a quick word with the current championship leader and the man who won last week at Brands Hatch. Guillaume de Flandre joins me in the commentary box. Guillaume, welcome along to a virtual Watkins Glen. Talk us through qualifying. It went well.
Hello, everybody. Thanks. The qualifying was good, but Michael Smidle and almost a lot of driver is really fast on this track. I think it's not a bad qualifying. P3, yeah. The last week in Brands Hatch is really cool to win on my favorite track.
Yeah, there's a bit of a bump and run involved with Andre Castro. Andre Castro was, after race, not overly happy about that, but he'd done a bump and run on Alan Day the week before. So it's tight and twisty, Brands. Talk us about, you love that circuit. What about Watkins Glen? What do you think to that?
Yeah, I think the bumper to bumper is the American style NASCAR. The viewers and the racer love the spectacle. For the Watkins Glen, it's a little bit different. You have a lot of speed.
Yeah,
but it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Well, good luck for your heat. You'll start from the front row of the grid in heat number 3. Well done. Thanks for joining us, Guillaume de Flandre, and hopefully we'll chat to you later on.
Yep. See you.
There we go, magic stuff. So there is Guillaume de Flandre, the winner from Brands Hatch last week. We're into the final 20 seconds now of this race. The 10 minutes is almost up. We are looking at a fight for 11th position currently, with Luigi Ferreira really looking to try and mount a challenge here for automatic qualification. He's got a Riccardo Elita's car right ahead of him. The Not Only Motorsport Chevy, the black car with its sort of white and orange and blue flashes, is the cork in the bottle. He's got Luigi Ferreira right behind him. Luigi Ferreira is coming under pressure from the next of the cars that's right behind him as well, which is Gordon Barnes, and we are now heading on towards the final lap. Ferreira's left the door open here for Barnes, and he might be able to go through, and that is just going to allow Riccardo Elita, who is the team photographer for Not Only Motorsport. So we'll guide you through the renumbered cars for this week, because we've got changes to the numbering system for this week. We'll guide you through those at the end of this race, because it's looking very tasty for the final automatic qualification spot. Riccardo Elita, John Barnes and Luigi Ferreira, and now it looks as though John Barnes is trying to draw himself alongside. Has he got the inside line for the bus stop? Yes, he has. He's gone through. Great stuff. Sorry, Gordon Barnes has gone through, I should say, and taken the place up. So that was great driving from Gordon Barnes. And now Riccardo Elita finds himself down in 11th position. And that means that he is going to now be faced with heading towards the last chance qualification race that will be our penultimate race of the evening. And I think we might see a further place lost here. Yeah, Luigi Ferreira also is able to squeeze his way through. So checkered flag has fallen whilst we're watching that fantastic battle. They're still side by side coming into the final corner. Luigi Ferreira gets tapped by Riccardo Elita. They both turn themselves around. Alain Muscaron is able to sneak past both of them, but the final qualification place does go the way of Barnes in the end. So we saw a win for Mikael Smidl. That means that he will automatically go through into the main championship race, so he won't have to worry about anything other than that later on. That's the one that carries the championship points. Lasse Sorensen celebrating, weaving from side to side at the wheel of his Chevy. It's been a great race between the pair of them as they drift the cars back round and in towards pit lane. And Giorgio Maggi finished in a solid third place in the end. Great fun they're having as they bring the cars back down pit road here in Watkins Glen. So that wraps up the first of the heats. Let's just hopefully confirm the result of that one whilst we get heat 2 now already lining up on the grid. Mikael Smidl goes through automatically, as does Lasse Sorensen in second place, and Giorgio Maggi completes the podium. Malin Kremers sitting there in 4th position ahead of Andreas Jochumsen in 5th place. Eric Filgueiras, who was involved in that collision at the very beginning, through into 6th place in automatic qualification. Vittorio Gorelli having a better night of it as well, the Italian. He's in 7th place. Ulysse Delso also caught up in that first corner incident, finishes in 8th place and automatically qualifies, as does Gordon Barnes in 9th place. And Alain Muscaron is the final driver, snuck it on the line as there was contact by 2 cars that were heading